What's up, guys? My name is Crescent, and getting your product packaged and labeled correctly for Amazon FBA can be rather confusing, especially if it's your first time. So today, we're going to talk about how to properly package and label your products from beginning to end so you don't get your inventory rejected or subjected to penalty fees. So the first thing you should do is smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate it. And then take a look at the Amazon packaging and labeling guidelines so we can follow them to a T. Now, it's important that once you've decided on how you want to package your products, that you refer to these guidelines to make sure that you're following what's laid out here for your packaging type. Okay, so the main types of packaging that you're going to encounter is a box, a poly bag, or a blister pack. Which one you choose should suit the product as far as protecting it from damage, holding all of the contents, and the unboxing experience. For example, a box can be a generic plain cardboard box or a custom designed box. If you believe a custom designed package will add value to your product, then you should consider it. Products that don't need to come in a box can be put in what's called a poly bag. There's generic plain clear poly bags, as well as designer bags and bags with insert cards in them to add value. And then there's blister packs. Some products are better suited for this type of packaging so you can show off the contents like a toothbrush or a pack of marker pens. Now, regardless of which type of packaging you go with, everything that's included in the unit must be contained within the package. As you can see here, Amazon will not accept loose items or if your product comes in multiple pieces. So if your product does have multiple pieces, it should all be contained within one package. And a pro tip here, always double check the overall size of your packaging so that it doesn't bump your product into the next sized Amazon fee tier. As you can see here, if you want to stay within the small standard size tier, your product needs to be within these size constraints. If your packaging doesn't meet these requirements, it'll bump you into the next size tier, which will increase your fees. Now, when it comes to boxes, you want to make sure that it meets these requirements. You can see here that boxed units must be 6-sided, must have openings or a lid that will not be easily open on its own, and if it can, it must be taped or glued or stapled shut. It cannot collapse when medium pressure is applied to any of its sides, and if the box unit has perforated sides or openings, the product must pass a 3-foot drop test, consisting of 1 drop on each side and 1 drop on the corner. If the product does not pass the drop test, it must be placed in a poly bag with a suffocation warning. All right, you can watch this video to go over the details. And with poly bags, it needs to meet these requirements. Now, if your product comes in a poly bag where the opening is at least 5 inches or bigger, it needs to have a suffocation warning on it. And it needs to either be printed on it or attached as a label, meaning a sticker. Now, if you don't do this, it may lead to the items being rebagged, which will incur more fees. Okay, so we can see here, the warning should be printed or placed in a prominent location and in an legible font size for the bag. And it gives you recommendations for how big the label and print font size needs to be here, okay? And the thickness of the bag must be at least 1.5 mils. The bag must be transparent. The bag must have the barcode, meaning the UPC or FNSKU barcode, in a scannable location through the bag or on the outside of the bag. The bags must be completely sealed, and the bag or shrink wrap must not protrude more than 3 inches past the dimensions of the product. Okay? And so speaking of labels, it's crucial that you get the following labels done correctly. If you're importing your product from outside of the US, by law, the country of origin needs to be on every single unit. So if your product is coming from, for example, China, every unit needs to have made in China on it. Now, every one of your units needs to also have a barcode on it. So if you're doing private label, I suggest always putting the FNSKU on every unit, not the UPC barcode. By using the FNSKU, it prevents the possibility of your units being commingled with another seller's units. You can get the FNSKU from the Manage Inventory page by clicking the drop-down menu and going to Print Item Labels. Or while you're creating a shipping plan, if you choose who labels as merchant, meaning you're going to label your units, you get the option here to print the FNSKU labels. Now, by choosing print, you're actually going to save it as a PDF instead, so you can email it to your supplier and they can put it on each one of your products. Now, one important thing to note, the FNSKU must be on the outermost packaging so that it can be scanned easily. And there can only be one visible barcode. So if for whatever reason there's other barcodes visible on your package, you need to cover those other barcodes up with a sticker and then smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And a pro tip here is if you're having a custom package design, you can have the country of origin and the FNSKU incorporated into the package design so that they can be directly printed onto the box instead of using a sticker. Or if you're going to use a sticker, you can combine the country of origin and FNSKU onto one sticker, and that way you can save on costs and make the packaging look cleaner. Now, if for whatever reason your supplier can't do the labeling for you or you don't want them to, you can have Amazon do it, but it'll cost you 30 cents a unit. You want to make sure that your product is correctly labeled, because if you send them to Amazon and they're wrong, incorrectly labeled, or missing, Amazon will charge you to fix them. They're called unplanned service fees, as you can see here. So for example, if the label is missing or incorrectly labeled, they're going to charge you a penalty fee to fix it. And if you continue to keep doing it, that penalty fee goes up. Now, it's not likely you'll be encountering these, but there's a few other labels that have specific guidelines such as expiration dates, and if you're selling sets. So if that's something your product requires, make sure you check those out too. Okay, so that covers the packaging and labels for the product itself. The next set of packaging and label requirements are for your shipment. So the requirements for the shipping cartons themselves. The shipping cartons is what your supplier is going to ship your products to Amazon in. So if you ordered 1,000 units of can openers, then how are those 1,000 units going to be packaged up and labeled for shipping to Amazon? Now, for most people starting out, you're going to be shipping using SPD, or small parcel delivery option. In this case, you need to make sure your shipping cartons meet these requirements. They must not weigh more than 50 pounds, cannot exceed 25 inches on any side, and for partnered carrier shipments, a maximum of 200 units per carton and 500 units per carton for non-partnered carrier shipments. Okay, so before moving on, what's a partnered carrier shipment? Well, because Amazon does so much volume, they've worked out deals for domestic shipments within the US where you can save a ton of money versus arranging the shipment yourself through UPS, FedEx, or DHL. So if you're shipping domestically to Amazon's fulfillment centers, then definitely take advantage of the partnered carrier program. The savings are sometimes more than half the price. So as you can see here, the Amazon partnered SPD carrier program offers deeply discounted rates, and the costs are billed to your account as an inbound transportation charge. Okay, and you can choose that by selecting Amazon partnered carrier program if that's what you want to do. So that covers the shipping cartons and how they need to be prepared and packaged. Now there's two labels that need to go on them, and they're both called shipping labels, which is why this part is often a cause for confusion. For all shipments going to Amazon, Amazon requires that you create what's called a shipping plan. The shipping plan lets Amazon know what you're shipping in, and the shipping plan will tell you which fulfillment centers to ship to and print out the accompanying shipping labels to put on the shipping cartons. These Amazon shipping labels are simply to identify the shipping cartons when they arrive at Amazon so they know what it is and who they belong to. These Amazon shipping labels have nothing to do with the physical shipping of your products. When you complete your shipping plan, you can download these shipping labels and email them to your supplier so they can put them on your shipping cartons. Now, if you're shipping multiple boxes of different products or quantities, for example, you want to make sure that the correct labels go on the corresponding shipping cartons so they go to the right fulfillment center. Now, to physically ship your products, you need to arrange a shipment with a shipping carrier like UPS, FedEx, or DHL. They'll provide you with their own shipping labels. So these labels also need to go on each one of your shipping cartons. But you most likely won't be dealing with these because your supplier or freight forwarder will arrange the shipment and they'll generate these labels and put them on the cartons for you. And lastly, the final form of packaging and labeling is how your product will ship to your customers. Now, if you're doing FBA, Amazon will handle all of the packaging and labeling for you. When someone buys your product, Amazon will pick your product off the shelf, put it in a shipping box or padded envelope, and label it for shipping. These are the Amazon boxes and packages that everyone's familiar with seeing when they buy products and they're delivered to their homes. Now, you don't need to worry about or handle any part of this final step. However, if your product is fragile in any way, you do want to make sure that the packaging that you created for it with your supplier is sufficient to protect it from damage, even though Amazon is going to put it in a shipping package when someone purchases it. So ultimately, the responsibility is still on you to make sure that the product is properly packaged so it doesn't get damaged during shipping. All right, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can find all of my contact details in the video description below. Or I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment or question in the comment section below. I answer every single one. And as always, if you found value in this video, consider subscribing. And please do me a favor and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out and I would appreciate it. And make sure to ring the bell so you never miss a future video. All right, thanks for watching.